I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for joining us tonight on TCM. We are in the middle of a lineup of Gen X classics, movies from the late 80s and early 90s that captured the spirit of struggling Gen Xers trying to find their way in the world as young adults. The term Generation X entered the mainstream in 1991 thanks to Douglas Copeland's best-selling novel Generation X: Tales from an Accelerated Culture. The 20-somethings Copeland described in his book were well-educated but not well-employed. They were cynical, listless, and lacking a clear sense of direction. I'm Gen X, and I'm not cynical. Moving on, you'll see cynical, listless, and directionless in our next film. It's a Gen X cult classic making its TCM premiere tonight from Universal in 1994, Reality Bites. Winona Ryder, Ethan Hawke, Janine Garofalo, and Steve Zahn play a group of recent college graduates living in Houston, struggling to figure out what to do with their lives. Ryder has vague ideas of becoming a filmmaker and uses her video camera to make a documentary about her disenchanted friends. Ben Stiller also stars as an executive at an MTV-like cable channel who might be able to help Ryder get her film produced. Original screenplay here came from Helen Childress, who wrote it as a 19-year-old student at USC. A producer hired her to come up with a script about 20-somethings, and she turned to her friends and her own experiences for inspiration. At the time, there was no Generation X, said Childress. It was called the Baby Busters, and so for a long time, this film was called the Untitled Baby Buster Project. Ben Stiller eventually came on board to direct as well, making this his feature directorial debut. Still, the project didn't get off the ground until Winona Ryder agreed to join the cast. Ryder was coming off a string of hits, including Heathers, Edward Scissorhands, and The Age of Innocence, which resulted in her first Oscar nomination. Ryder's substantial star power gave the production the boost it needed, and the film became another box office hit. Here it is from 1994, the TCM premiere of Reality Bites. Reality Bites received mixed reviews when it premiered in 1994, but it did well at the box office and has become a Gen X cult classic. Part of the film's popularity came from its soundtrack, including the song that played over the closing credits, Stay, I Missed You, written and performed by Lisa Loeb. Loeb came to the project thanks to her friend and former neighbor, Ethan Hawke. They were living across the street from each other in New York when Loeb wrote the song. Hawke directed the music video. He also passed a demo of the song along to Ben Stiller, who not only co-starred in Reality Bites, but also directed it. Stiller then decided to use the song in the end credits. When Reality Bites premiered, it became one of the most popular singles of the year, reaching the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Coming up, another seminal Gen X movie from one of Ethan Hawke's most frequent collaborators, director Richard Linklater. Slacker from 1990 is next on TCM.
Next on TCM, Slacker, then River's Edge, and later, Reckless. TCM is too cool for school tonight.